What else do we need to let everyone know about?
Wow, we've got to get the crystal ball out. I think a lot of it. Look, I don't know that there's too much more to it, except that looking forward with optimism is a lot better than looking forward with dread. So we're coming out of what has been a reasonably traumatic period on many levels, but there's always a rainbow at the end of the rain, and I think if I could relay anything to anybody who might be listening is not to get the head down, but to start looking up. There's opportunities for doing really meaningful work and making really great connections. We can certainly help with that and frame the conversation. And the idea that we've spoken about before as well around bravery. Sometimes a lot of this agility, what it actually means is you need to exercise a little bit of bravery, and you've got to be prepared to fail and fail fast. I mean, we've all experienced it where we've run campaigns that we thought was a straight kick in front of goal, and for whatever reason things happened and it doesn't seem to work out that way. But the important thing is not to get too hung up on those things, but to see that as a learning opportunity and I guess a directional piece to inform where we should be trying next. And as long as you've got a plan and you're being consistent and holistic and cohesive in your efforts, not to be sidetracked by those type of things, but rather keep looking at what the goal is and what the purpose is that you have in mind, and keep layering up to that. So there's every reason for optimism if you walk into the right mindset. One last thought on that one is that what we have seen too from a change in just the ecosystem is the whole idea of the gig economy, and that it does change a way that you can look at the talent available to your disposal, whether it's in an agency, whether it's for people inside your business, to be able to tap into resources that you need in real time in an engagement that you might consider non-traditional as a way that can add value to you. To certainly look for those opportunities because they are now abundant.
Yeah, I love what you said there about bravery, and that was one thing that I was going to mention before. I think a lot of business owners have been very fearful, and there has been a lot of bravery, in 2020 and moving forward. I think it's important to protect your business and protect yourself from the perspective of getting your fundamentals right. That's your true protection. If you build a quality brand and you build a quality community around your business, you're going to be protected because they're going to stay with you. But be brave when it comes to taking risks, in terms of trying a new platform. Take risks in terms of, trying new headlines, or, put out a brand campaign, do an ad that you may not have done before. And yeah, it's a little bit risque, but, the payoff is going to be there as long as you've got your fundamentals right. So protect yourself, but be brave and go hard, because the people who risk it get the biscuit.
Can't deny that. I sort of want to flip it on its head just slightly there with something you said. Is take more risk. What I would challenge the listener, whether you're the business owner, you're the marketing manager, or the CMO, CEO of a company, whether it's your company or not your company, but change the way in which you actually see risk, right? Because if you don't see it as a risk, you'll be more likely to take the step. And this just comes back again to rewiring your brain to see what you're currently doing as you're growing a business. You're no longer trying to promote your product, right? It's a very different, very subtle, but very different mindset shift when you start looking at it through those lenses. Because if you truly understand business and you understand the business landscape and what it takes to grow a company and a business, it all comes back to the way in which you're making your decisions. You should. I would encourage everyone to see digital as it's a must, it's a requirement, just like it is to submit your BAS returns, right? Yeah. We need to start looking at it through those lenses and start being more practical with it. And I'm absolutely excited for business in 21. I think there's never been a greater opportunity, because there's never been another time than there is right now. But the reality is that, and I'm going to close this off by reverting back to one last lesson in the previous podcast here, was don't fuck with the universe, okay? And what I mean by that is, you are currently right now in the position that you're in because you're in it and you're supposed to be there. Your business is where it's at right now because it's supposed to be there. Whether you feel it's struggle or it's not struggle, or you're going really well and things are going great, you're in that position right now because you're there. You can make the decision. That's all you need to do. You need to decide, do I want to do it better? Do I want to make it happen faster? And then if so, you need to figure out how we can actually start to make that happen, right? Because whatever's going to happen is going to happen. It's going to happen the way it's supposed to happen. You can make the decision to take action, and you can put your hand up and go, you know what? I need to find my who's. Okay? And on that note, we are a who. You know, if you've been listening to this episode, you've been tuning into, I think this might be episode 13, 14 of the Digital Growth Podcast. The amount of information that we've shared in these podcasts alone, if you were just able to embed it within inside yourself and your psyche and the way that you think, will literally change the way in which you look at your business. You should not be doing your digital growth. You should not be doing your paid advertising. You should find people, and we will put our hand up to say, hey, look, let's actually have a chat. Let's see if we can help you, right? We will never say we can help you if we can't help you, because that's not what we advocate for, right? Creating a movement. So if you are in a situation and you want 2021 to be your best year you've ever had in business, reach out to us. Go to claxon.agency, hit the Be Heard tab. And I normally don't promote this heavily, but this episode sort of bringing a bit out of me where I'm like, there's just so many businesses with great products and services, they just don't know what to do, right? Or they just don't know how to break that scale phase to amplify it. And if you are even remotely in that situation, reach out to us. Let's start the conversation, and we'll see if we're able to help you, because the opportunities are amazing next year. The multi-channels that we have available to us here, not just the social, everything from programmatic, deep data. There's so many things that are working on in the background that for those businesses who are committed and they actually treat digital as though it is one of the most important pillars of their company, they're the ones who are going to have the best chance of winning.